Alright, here's a continuation for the phone stand part. I guess this would be part 3. So last video got cut short a little bit, but we are currently finalizing that last part, so kind of show where we are. We had that side piece, I had also this kind of middle piece that's holding things together, and now I'm finalizing with this center piece that will be kind of in the front. Okay, so I'm going to hide these again. You can hit the little L, the eyeball to do that, and now what I want to do is I actually want to create a midpoint on this line. So I'm using this, you're going to create a point. If you hover over kind of where the middle is, it should give you a little box that gives me a midpoint to work off from. And then from there, I'm creating a line here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a line that comes all the way up here. I'm just going to overextend it right now so that when I create my line again to come across here, right, so this is actually the top part. I projected that line previously. I can have that close in my shape, and then now it's just a matter of trimming up some lines. I might just delete that line, and you can hit this trim button right there to trim off that section as well as this section. Okay. Alright, so now I've got my half of that centerpiece set up there. I'm going to hit the check mark, okay, and things should be looking pretty good. I'll open up these sides. Actually, I want to go ahead and right click, rename this to the bottom piece. Okay. So I have that set up. Okay, so now if I rotate around, I can see that this is looking pretty good. Okay, and actually, on second glance here, I might not actually want this to line up to the top there. So I might bring that down a little bit. So let me double click on this sketch. So I'm editing again. You can right click, view normal to, so you're facing it. And instead of it lining up here, let's go ahead and delete that constraint. I'm going to drag this down. Still want, oops. Let me hide that side piece again. Okay, so instead, let's put a number there instead. And I believe I used 0.388. So let me dimension that from here to here. We'll do this as 0.3875. Okay, that looks better. And we'll just trim this up right there. Okay, don't need that section. Cool. Alright, looks better. Hit the check mark. Okay, I'll unhide again that side, and I can see a little bit better of how that's looking. Okay, I just didn't want that top section popping up. Okay, so now I'm going to come up to extrude this face out, and just like last time, blind is fine, but the depth, I'm going to do hashtag or the number symbol thickness, so that it's the thickness that I can change easily. Alright, and I did notice it actually didn't grab this part either, so I'll do that real quick. Okay, hit the check. Alright, I've got my third piece almost finalized, and I'm going to do that mirror again. Mirror, it's to be a part mirror. It's going to be added to that same part. Hit the entity to mirror is going to be this right there, and the mirror plane is going to be mirroring it around that section, and I got it flipped to the other side, and merge wise, I'm going to have that merge with part 3, should not be a problem. Looks good. Hit the check mark, and there's my third piece. Okay. Now looking at this, it looks like I actually extruded it the wrong way. It's going into the wood, so come back to my extrude, simply flip that opposite direction arrow, and just kidding, it's still flipping the wrong way. Let me see what happened here. Oh, I think I see what happened. Actually, this hole is not lined up to this backside, so we have to fix that really quick. I'll keep that checked, and it's actually going to be from this first sketch.
Happy lunchtime, Mustangs. Just a reminder from food service that they have white chicken chili available at the...
Alright, sorry about that. There was an announcement coming through. So actually double checking, I think I put in the wrong dimension here is the problem. This should actually be 2.17. Let's see if that did the trick. Hit the check. There it is. Alright, so now I've got it all lined up. And Yep, that's fitting right in there. That's fitting over there. Okay, looking good. Okay, I might change the style now back to just shaded, right? So I'm not getting all those extra lines, and everything's lining up nicely. Okay, the final feature to this is adding a little hole for the the cable to come through. So the way I did that, I did sketch. I'm going to sketch on this front face. Again, I can right click, view normal too. And to do this final section, it's really a slot. So what you want to do is create a line here first. So I'm just going to make a horizontal line, and I'm going to dimension that to be, let's do the, I believe I had it 0.75. Okay, I'm also going to find that midpoint of this line, and I want that midpoint to be vertical. Let's do this vertical to the midpoint. I'm not getting my midpoint here, so let me draw another point just for reference. Okay, so I want that midpoint to line up, so let's make sure this is vertical to that. Okay, so it's pretty close, shifted over a little bit. And besides that, I'm going to create my slot. So the way to do that is actually, you can also search for it right here in this little search bar. So I'm going to search for slot, there it is. Slot uses that line, you click on it, and then you can just change the diameter of this circle portion. I think I have it set to 0.2. Okay, so now I've got a slot in there. I'm going to leave it blue. Typically that means I'm missing maybe a couple constraints here, but for what I'm doing, that looks fine. Okay, so hit the check and go to extrude. I'll select that face. I want this to be a removal so that it's creating a hole. And instead of it being blind, I'm going to make sure it goes through all. Okay, merge scope part 3, hit the check, and there's the slot. Okay, that's all the parts are created now, so I should be pretty much good to go. The final stage that I would be doing here, just so make sure everything's looking right, is I'm going to create an assembly. Okay, and so the assembly is going to look something like this. Let me drag it over. Right, so all I'm doing is I'm making sure that I have that other side and everything lines up the way I want it to. So to create an assembly in Onshape is down here. There's actually a tab that's default created for you. If this isn't showing up for you, you can just click on this plus button and you can say create assembly. Okay, so in the assembly option, I'm going to insert all my parts. So it should default here. Notice that it has a thickness set up, right? It uses the default thickness. I'm going to change that to the 0.125, hit enter, and it'll automatically make all of my parts that thickness now, or wherever I use that variable configuration. Okay, so I'll select one. I'm going to have a bottom piece, a third piece, and a side piece. Okay, and I actually want one X, so let me start with that first. Okay, so those three are pretty much in place already. To make sure that they stay in place, I'm going to use this group command. So group, and I'm going to group this, this, and this. Hit the check. All right, now all I got to do is insert one other side piece. I'll grab that side here. I'm just going to place it randomly. Hit the check. And the way Onshape does their assemblies is you have these various mates. So we're going to do a fasten mate, and you're looking for a couple mate connectors. So I'm going to do, as you kind of pan over things, you're looking for something that you can use to connect to a separate part. So that's fine. I'll use this bottom piece, and I know that bottom needs to actually line up to, for example, that this, oh, that's not a great one to choose. Let me go back on this, sorry. I'm going to choose a fasten section. Let's see here. On this one, it's a little bit tricky because you want to line up a couple things here. So typically, actually this might be my best one. Let's see if it's letting me do that. Alright, there it is. I'm going to do this. one, and I know it has to line up to this face right there. Okay, so I'll click on that. Let's see how it did. It looks a little bit off. Oh, you know what? I know what happened. I'll hit the check mark. That's fine. So when I brought in my second one here, my second side, I forgot to check the configuration. Okay, so let's come back here. I'll click on that side. You see, there it is. That thickness was wrong, so I'm going to go change configuration. The thickness was set to 0.225. I want that now to be 0.125. Hit the check, and it should update. Didn't do it for me. Let me try one more time. If I right click on this guy, go to change configuration. Oh, here it is, 0.125. Hit the check. There it is. Alright, so now there's my finalized phone stand. If you want, you can, again, go back to the part studio if you want to change some of the colors, so on and so forth. I can rename this part that I never did, rename it to the centerpiece. Okay, and then again, if I want to, I can add some colors to it by editing the appearance. Let's make that piece, I don't know, black. That's a little too dark. Let's do a light gray. I don't know, whatever. Okay, so you get the idea. Alright, so that should get you all the parts. In the final video, I'll show you how to put this into an SVG, which allows you to send it to the laser cutter.